Hey guys, above average here with another DB replay video. Here we have me against another Cerberus YD with 1735 rating. He's playing Pearly Spright. I've been seeing this deck a lot. It's actually very powerful. If you don't have any hand traps or you don't really uh, interrupt them, they can end on a crazy board. But here he starts out with Pretty Memory, Beaver, My Friend, per Lily and starter, so amazing hand. And then I also have a very good hand, right? I have Prosperity, Birth, Shifter, Rise Heart, and Imperm. So I win the dice roll. I start up with Shifter, Prosperity, just so I don't get drolled. Some people are starting to main droll. Here I add Planet. Figured it's the best card to add, even if he has the Ash for the Planet. I still have a play. So start off with Planet. Of course, get Unicorn, Special Unicorn. Get my Theosis. I saw that he was playing more than 40, so I assumed he was playing something like Manadium or something along those lines, and you definitely don't want to special summon your cards in defense against them. So that's why I special summon Unicorn in attack mode. So here, just the basic combo that I always do now. Since I already have Birth, wait to get an extender on the board, I search my Scareclaw cache, which is very good with preparations, basically banishing a card and having that for follow-up. So draw phase, of course, preparations, just in case, if he has imperm, he has to just do it in the draw phase. Summon my unicorn from my deck. This way I have my Fenrir Ogre Unicorn, starts with my friend. Pays 5. Yeah, he activated in the middle and moved it. I mean, it didn't really matter, but yeah. So here he reveals 3. He gets Sleepy. And now he just has to kind of crack my board with non-engine, right? A unicorn on res, get rid of the Zeus, because I know that's what if he goes into Zeus, he could break my whole entire board, and just getting rid of that threat. I know I'm like safe right now, pretty much. Lock a zone. There's a little confusion here. He just wanted to chain a card to my Shang effect. Here I Planet Pop, because this one's negated, so I wanted him not to rank up, but then I figured out he's playing Spright. I probably should have guessed he's playing Spright once I saw that he was playing Pearly with over 40. Right. So here he kind of goes off, having the starter and the Beaver. It's kind of crazy. Ogre's pretty big. That's why I love Ogre. Like Ogre in preparations, it's huge. It's just a really big body. A lot of people have a hard time dealing with it, and like the fact that you just keep bringing it back every turn, I think it's crazy in my opinion. So here he goes. Smashers. I'm sorry, Gigantic. Makes another. He attaches, and he actually plays through like almost everything. I mean, he had all gas, right? He had like 6 engine pieces, and that's pretty good, especially with his deck, right? So here he just starts, bouncing cards, attacking with my board, gets delicious, so he could boost it up. And halves, enters battle, and he actually, you'll see, this is actually a pretty crazy thing that happened here. So he gets another happy, he gets another attack, bounces my preparations. I kind of misplayed with my Scareclaw cache. I could have special summoned it, and I could have avoided a lot of things, but I'm misplayed. Once he summoned that, I should have just preparation summoned the Scareclaw. Here, I figured out that he attached 4 times, and that would have been game. But yeah, he just attached one too many times. So caught that. Thank God I didn't admit defeat. Quick thinking there. Shang getting effect, and of course, if the cards stay, if Birth stays, Shangri-Ira stays on the board, you're getting way too many cards. I'm playing with, look how many cards I have on the board in my hand, and I'm not done searching, right? and all those cards get more cards. So I have access to all my extra deck utility cards. He pretty much scoops there. Um, Goes to show you that if Cash makes their full board and your opponent doesn't have non-engine, it's very hard. He had 6 cards in his hand, all gas, and it wasn't enough to beat through my board. Start off with Shifter again, so that's pretty good. But to be honest, Spright and Pearly play through Shifter very well. I mean, like they side it, right? Spright side Shifter, Pearly side Shifter. Here he goes Mannequin Cat. This is insane. Like this card destroys Kashtira. Um, and I pretty much have to imperm, or else he gives me my Shifter, and then I cry because then he not only does he give me Shifter, he gets to extend. So that's insane. That's very good. Here he just does his full board. He gets double cross, which is very good here, basically playing around evenly matched, which I draw evenly matched, and then he gets to attach another material to his monster, and then he has the Ash for the Prosperity, and now I'm in a very weird spot because I wasted my battle, quote unquote, wasted my battle phase. But he still has the Mannequin Cat, and it's actually huge because I know that I can't game him this turn, and I know he has so much gas in his deck, and the Mannequin Cat is going to give him another card, as well as potentially like going into Zeus next turn. Like I need to out this card. Yeah, I caught myself normal summoning again. So this guy caught that in time too. Yeah, here he goes Mannequin Cat, summons Per Lily, gets my friend. I know he has like a lot here. I still end on Fenrir. I mean, I don't think this was the correct play, but I think regardless, uh, I just didn't have the cards to out the Mannequin Cat early. Maybe not using evenly matched, but then again, it's weird. Here, I kind of want to see because the deck still plays like a bunch of little cards, right? So he has to like beat me, right? He has to use a bunch of cards to search, eventually get materials, rank up, to eventually get to a big card to out my cards. Because I still have a Fenrir, right? I have decent follow up. I have Unicorn in hand with Birth. Um, so here he goes into Sprint, setting cards. That's one of the main reasons why I don't like, personally, I don't like playing Pearly or Sprite, just because the deck doesn't have big cards, and I think I like having big cards in the deck. Like you could summon a Fenrir or something or Unicorn, you can get negated, but then like they still need to beat over the 2500 beat stick, right? Which in a way it's like you can go plus off of that. As opposed to like Pearly or Sprite, you have to like link climb and use their effects to get into a big card. Here he goes Noir against my 2 cards. I get a pretty good top deck. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, Noir with 5 materials is a bit rough. Getting my Theosis, using Theosis. He doesn't care. I know I have to go into the Scareclaw here because I could attack into the Noir, but that still doesn't do anything really. I mean, I can negate it and then main phase 2 try to do something, but yeah, I'm pretty much forced to Noir. Um, here I summon my Fenrir, which is a pretty good summon, but he lets it rock. Get my tier cash. I try to mill. Hopefully, I mill something like I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter. There's nothing really I can mill in my deck. And he's playing with a lot of cards here. He has the Noir, which I know can turn into Zeus. He has the My Friend, getting another card. Draws for turn. And then here, I'm playing with no cards. I just have a tier cash. I should surrender here. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trolling. I have 10k life points. I mean, I'm exercising my life points. Yeah, so last turn I forgot to use Birth to banish from his grave, and that came up, actually. I always forget Birth. I feel like, especially online, like I feel like online I misplay with Birth a lot. Like I always tend to forget about the effect. Um, it's better to misplay online though than misplay in person, right? Yeah, he's playing with a big cat. But you see how like I'm playing with barely any cards, and he needs to like whittle down my resources to eventually kill me. right? He doesn't have monsters with huge attack and stuff to just beat me, um, which is weird, right? Like he has so many cards, he should have been able to OTK me last turn. I still think Pearl is one of the best decks, though, in my opinion. I think the deck's crazy. It's like hyper consistent. It always does what it wants to do, like all the time. It doesn't get hit by a lot of hand traps. It feels really bad hand trapping them. Here we go into game 3. Good luck, good luck. He starts with Jet, Imperm, Pearly, Ash, and Yeep. I have Tier Cash, Birth, Terraforming, Theosis, and Prosperity. So 0 non-engine. Right now I cited in a bunch of non-engine, but I saw none of it. He has a pretty decent hand, I'd say. But I also have a very good hand. So starting off with just Wraithsoth, he Ashes, hoping to have no more extender, which then I show him Prosperity. I rip just D-Berry off the top. I mean, I know that like I have 2 ways to put monsters on the board now. Well, I have the Tier Cash and then the Theosis, right? And I know he used his Ash already, so you have another Ash, it doesn't matter. So here I try to mill something. He imperms to try to stop my plays, which is actually pretty smart, right? Because he knows he has a starter for next turn, and he just needs me to he needs to just stop me from putting a monster on the board. And me having the Theosis here is huge. It's really big. But I hid the Theosis. I started off with everything else, and then I tried to bait the Ash as much as possible and the Imperms as much as possible to then use my Theosis, which I think was definitely the right call, right? A lot of people would try to play first and then use Prosperity. So here I just get my Ogre. I know I'm getting another turn. I mean, I have D-Barrier. Well, what could he do? Here I'm saying I think if I want to play into Nib, just checking if he has Nib if he said something, but obviously he didn't fall for it. He's a little too high of a rating to fall for something like that. In the draw phase, I always use preparations just in case people don't want to use their imperms there. They want to wait for me to use the Shinger era and then they imperm. I have a free rip with preparations. People do fall for that actually. So here he wastes his normal summon, so I think that's huge. Like I know him not summoning a Pearly monster is really big. So he gets his blue. I say that's fine, right? But what is he gonna search into? Carrot or whatever? That's fine, right? And then here just start ripping. I know he needs to have another of this. He needs to have a spell or like a Pearly spell to start playing the game. Which even if he does, it's very hard for him to rip through my board. So here, Ogre, I hit Delicious. We're just removing that for the rest of game 3. I think is very powerful. No reason to hit anything else. Him drawing Angler doesn't matter. I lock 3 zones here. And then I pop the blue. And then just to see that he has no other plays. But even if he did, I mean, I had the D barrier. I'm playing with way too many cards. And as you could see, if your opponent doesn't draw any like blowout non-engine, it's very hard to rip through your board. Like they could open a bunch of engine, and it'll be very hard for them to play through your Kashtira board. That's why I really suggest playing cards like Judgment, cards like D barrier, like chainable traps, because your opponent does side into like Evenlies, Lightning Storms, Dusters. Like they want to get rid of your Birth and your preparations and stuff like that, and your planet, right? So I thought this was a really good replay to show my opponent just having pure gas, and like even though he has, I mean, this hand he didn't really have a lot of gas, but like him having 6 playable cards in his hand was not enough to beat through like the 1-card unicorn combo. Which I think is pretty good. It's a pretty good thing for a deck to have. So hopefully you like this replay. I'm going to be doing more. Like I said, again, I think Kashtira is one of the best decks in the format. Just it's like hidden. It's under the radar. We'll see what happens with the ban list. Hopefully it doesn't get murdered. But like I said, a slight tap on the wrist might push this deck to the unplayable category, and I really hope that doesn't happen. That's it for this one.